when all this begins in childhood, it's a whole issue of breeding them. So when they're creating subpersonalities through that trauma,
Okay.
then the people that are doing this begin to program. They instill, you're going to be a shooter, or you're going to be a priestess, or you're going to be a runner.
These are the Satanists.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
So they're the ones that are going to do this, and they're going to be handling them as handlers.
Okay.
It's all coven based, Luciferian. But so say in a person they create a programmed, trained shooter, assassin.
All right.
They can put them down and keep them hidden, a sleeper,
Okay.
for years.
For years.
It just whatever code they gave this part of that personality, you go down and through such and such code. That's the only way you'll ever come up.
And the code means they're going to say some line, some group of numbers.
It could be numbers, things, a phrase. It could be a number. Whatever that Luciferian type programmer gave to this original. If you think in terms of hypnosis and you see people do this on the stage, it's similar. Only this is more powerful and permanent.
Okay, so somehow the program multiple hears this, and then they go directly to what they're supposed to do.
Sure. So, and we've seen it happen. We've watched it. We've observed this for years. So if a phone call comes in or if someone repeats the phrase, all of a sudden the main person goes down and that one programmed personality comes up.
Okay.
And if it's a shooter, all they know is their task.
Okay.
The only thing we learned, the only way to bring them down, we have to tackle them. We have to bring them because they're just, the mind is so much control, and along with that programming on the Luciferian side, they're going to add demonic presence to make it even stronger.
Okay, which means they have a superhuman physical.
They're faster, they're stronger,
right?
And they're like just fixed in that. They're like tranced out into doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay. So, who are some of the shooters you believe that were program multiples that we've heard about in the news?
Sure. I do believe that Holmes from Colorado was a program shooter.
He walked into the movie theater. Mm-hmm. And why do you believe he was a programmer?
Well, when you observe, and again, for me, normally I would want to meet a person and engage them.
Yeah,
but
right.
From a distance, in observation, from knowing this for years and years, I see the patterns of, for example, when they finally did, everything he did was done by sophistication. He knew even the bombs in his own apartment.
Okay.
He did it all by design.
Right.
A crazy person doesn't do things by design.
That would have to be supernatural.
Right.
So
all of what he did was by plot, by design, by premeditated.
Right.
But after he does all this random shooting and slaughter and killing, when they finally get a hold of him, take him to jail, he's asleep, he wakes up. This is the case with a couple others too. He wakes up and doesn't know where he's at or why he's there.
Because he doesn't remember.
Because the personality that is shooting is now down, and he's back up.
Okay.
The main person is back up,
Okay.
and the program shooter is now down. They instill, you're going to be a shooter, or you're going to be a priestess, or you're going to be a runner, or you're going to be a priestess, or you're going to be a priestess, or you're going to be a priestess.
As you can see, we've had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Anderson. It seems that you've been living two lives. In one life, you're Thomas A. Anderson, program writer for a respectable software company. You have a social security number, you pay your taxes, and you help your landlady carry out her garbage. The other life is lived in computers, where you go by the hacker alias Neo and are guilty of virtually every computer crime we have a law for. One of these lives has a future, and one of them does not. I'm going to be as forthcoming as I can be, Mr. Anderson. You're here because we need your help. We know that you've been contacted by a certain individual. And whatever you think you know about this man is irrelevant. He is considered by many authorities to be the most dangerous man alive.
But Jesus said, if we have faith in him, we're going to do what he did. So one of the important things that he was doing is dealing with demonic stuff. Apparently it was fairly common in his day for people to be demonized. It's kind of interesting. A lot of the people that he dealt with turned up in church. They called it a synagogue in those days. But apparently when he was teaching, there was so much Holy Spirit presence that the demons couldn't resist revealing themselves. Ordinarily, they hide. Ordinarily, they don't want to be discovered. But I think there was so much Holy Spirit power there that they were forced to reveal themselves.
You mentioned the shooter in Vegas.
Sure.
Why would you think he's a program multiple?
Well, and again, like Holmes or like Jared in Arizona, same things we see the patterns. We see major sophistication, but also like there's no conscience in slaughtering. They didn't just, it wasn't a man that was jealous because his wife is,
Right.
It wasn't domestic.
Right.
It wasn't just some guy stealing for drug money.
Right.
This is massacre.
Right.
So in program shooters, the way they're trained, they're meant to massacre and slaughter in a big way.
With no feelings.
And there's nothing.
There's nothing.
There's no remorse. There's no conscience there. So when that personality, and because we've dealt with, face to face, we've dealt with program shooters. There is no conscience. because they've only been trained and conditioned by the programmer, handler, Luciferian type people to do that. That's all they know.
Wow.
That's all they know to do, so that when they come up.
Okay. So, Russ, just talking to you, what comes to mind is most of these shooters, these kids that walk in school and kill all these children,
Yeah.
they end up killing themselves, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is more than likely these are program multiples.
And we've looked at, we constantly look at all of them. We look at all of them,
Right.
and when I look at the Vegas case, that is the most glaring picture of a programmed shooter who then has programming to take himself out if he's going to get caught.
Right.
Look at the slaughter, look at the development. And here's the sad thing is that maybe the feds or someone will come out with a profiler to say, you hear this always, they snapped, they went crazy.
Okay.
And so as soon as the society hears, well, they're mental, they're emotional, or they're insane,
Right.
we kind of write them off then. That's where they haven't dealt with the real cause behind. Now, it's true that people can kill people.
Right.
It's true that people can kill people for drugs or for jealousy out of a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. But when you deal with like the Vegas shooter, the categories are random and massive slaughter that seems to be very designed.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, program shooting, or if they do get caught and taken away, like Holmes or Jared, when they wake up, the shooter personality is now down inside. They don't know what happened. They have missing time.
Right,
They don't know what occurred
right.
for the last few hours.
Right.
They have, and because memory is encoded, so when the personality shooter is up doing everything, all the memory is encoded here. If they go down and the main person comes back up, the main person has no memory of what this part of him did.
Hello, Neo.
How do you know that name?
I know a lot about you.
Who are you?
My name is Trinity.
Trinity. The Trinity? That cracked the IRSD base.
That was a long time ago.
Jesus.
What?
Jesus.
What?
Jesus.
What?
I just thought, you were a guy.
Most guys do.
That was you on my computer. How did you do that?
Right now, all I can tell you is that you're in danger. I brought you here to warn you.
What?
They're watching you, Neo.
Who is?
Please just listen. I know why you're here, Neo. I know what you've been doing. I know why you hardly sleep, why you live alone, and why night after night you sit at your computer. You're looking for him. I know because I was once looking for the same thing. And when he found me, he told me I wasn't really looking for him. I was looking for an answer. It's the question that drives us, Neo. It's the question that brought you here. You know the question, just as I did.
What is the Matrix? What is the Matrix? What is the Matrix?